heard jokes that begin with, "I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first?" Let's start with the good news. Organizational culture is not something that you need to start developing. One less thing to do. Good news. But here's the bad news. You're already developing it. In fact, you have spent many years developing it. And if you're a leader, everything you've been doing has already been building your organizational culture, whether you're aware of it or not, and whether you've been building the culture you'd like to have or not. Everything you do as a leader nurtures your organizational culture. Consequently, the organizational culture you have today is the result of everything you've done and allowed to be done in the past. Practically, this means that if your existing organizational culture is not what you'd like, then you do need to make some changes. But those changes are not of the culture. Those changes need to be made in you. In reality, you can't change the culture. You, with God's help and by His grace, can only change yourself. And if you are changed, your beliefs, values, priorities, attitudes, actions, language, then over time, your organizational culture will also change. A big misconception that many leaders have is that organizational culture can be artificially nurtured, that we can decide what kind of culture we want and then create vision and values statements, strategies, policies, manuals, and procedures that will then somehow create the desired culture. But culture is not something you can manipulate. It's the result of everything that you and your leaders do and allow to be done. Culture reflects who you are, not just what you'd like everyone else to be like. Have you ever seen the cartoon where in the first panel, the man down the front asks everybody, "Who wants change?" And everybody raises their hand. But in the second panel, he says, "Who wants to change?" No one puts their hand up. In reality, very few people want to change. And those few are the healthy leaders. The ones who are willing to face reality and to make the difficult and deep choices necessary to actually bring change to the future. In reality, organizational culture takes years to deeply develop, and it's developed by everything that you are and you do. As Jesus said in Matthew 23, "First clean the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside also will be clean." In this course, together we're going to look deeply at organizational culture, what culture means and how it is shaped. And then in the following courses, we'll look at some of the key characteristics of healthy organizational culture. Everything we work on will be highly relevant to organizations of every kind and to leaders at every level. Whether you're the top leader of a multinational organization or a mid-level leader of a small nonprofit or the leader of a local church, you're going to find this very practical and very useful. Now, let's begin.